There we go. So now I can finally get this thing right. And she had led me right to it the last time. We were coming from a sharper angle, and she got her nose on something. We came up through there and found it. And she went right to it. But I'm glad I remembered that bent pine tree though, because that helped me find it. And
it's not even, that wasn't even in the ground.
It's not. No, it's not.
Or maybe that one. I'm not sure.
It's not in the ground. I'm telling you, that's the other part of it right there. This thing was picked up and put right there.
This one looks like it was in the ground.
Yeah, I think that one was, to be fair. But you see, I mean, it's touching and everything. There's a lot of X's that people shoot and they're not really touching. Yeah. That is touching. So I think a lot of times with like tree structures, or if you want to say they're structures, you know, tree sign, whatever. I think a lot of times if you look at the history of Bigfoot, when I've looked at it and tried to make sense of it, you know, they saw what Indians did with teepees and so on and so forth. I think a lot of times the teepee structure, if they did it, that basically means home. You know, so if you see a structure like that somewhere, that's saying, hey, this is home. I'm not sure what these X's would mean if this was actually, you know, modified and made by a quote-unquote a Bigfoot. I'm not really sure what it would mean, but it's pretty cool. Especially when you're just walking through from up there, it's like boom, you just see it. You just see it.
Maybe it's like a marker, like just as we've been using them. It's like, okay, where is this location?
Exactly. I mean, it could be a trail marker because they're not really going to use trails. When you look around, like I see a game trail coming right through there. I can see that. But they're not following a well-worn path, so it would make sense, especially since there's a road here. There's a road way over there, and they're cutting through these areas. This is like a marker to say, hey, this is part of you. It's like a trailblaze, if you want to say that. I think that could very well be the case because it's tall, and you can basically see it from all points up here. From all the way around, you can see it like a trailblaze. That is super cool right there. That's just one of the most perfect and best ones that I've seen. And again, this one right here, that's what's put there. Yeah, the other one's in the ground, but that was put right there. I think that was picked up and that was put up there. But I don't necessarily see any footprints. Did see that little Gerber hex tool over there on the ground, so maybe someone dropped that when they were running. I don't know, or they were hunting. Yeah, she's wallowing around, but when I first found this, her nose led me right here to this X. I wish I would have got that on film. I hated that it wasn't film, and I thought it was. So I don't really see any. I looked last time. I don't really see any hair signs on nothing. Yeah, we've had a lot of that lately. Prints might be kind of hard to see. There's some prints right there, but that's probably deer or something, or coyote. Robin Moonshadow's good at finding prints. I'll be like, okay, there's nothing there, and she'll follow it. And all of a sudden, boom, you'll see it clear when you'll be like, oh shit, she knows what she's doing. Yeah. You know.
She said that she's coming back over here in February.
Yeah, she should be coming back in February again. She's from Canada. She's actual First Nations, so I mean, she knows a whole lot about the wilderness. about little people, Indian legends, and so on and so forth.
I just thought it scared me.
Did she?
I saw her out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what is that?
You know, I was up here one time and I heard a big ruckus coming through the woods. I didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden, 2 deers just came right out and just flashed out in front of us. I had both dogs with me. Oh, look at that.
Huh.
Somebody has...
This looks like a campsite.
It's a campsite. They made their own fire ring. So I would say hunters have done this. So that's interesting. And we found that that little tool set out there. That's interesting. Yep, this is a little campsite. I bet you this would be a good area to hunt. Because you can actually see, Cassie, if you look over there, just how green it is over there. We're just in an area that got a burn not too long ago. That's what this is. Which, you know, burning is good for foraging. When they do a prescribed burn, it's good for the animals to go through and forage. And the new plants will grow real quick, you know, where it was burned. Oh, this is actually a pretty, I didn't know that this is a nice spot right here. This would be a nice spot to build a fire and hang out all night.
I bet it gets, I mean, I was here last year, but I bet it gets real pretty when you squat and it starts, all the leaves start to change.
Oh yeah, it does. The fall's always beautiful.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know, last time I went on the parkway was about a month ago, a month and a half. I bet you it's getting pretty up there on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Okay, this looks like it drops off pretty good. Yeah, it goes down pretty dang deep. Let's walk the perimeter of it and see what we can see. The Fendi had come out of nowhere on you.
Would you be embarrassed if I posted a picture of one of the pictures I took of you on Squatch Rack?
No, I wouldn't be embarrassed at all. That'd be fine. I'm always happy to see my fugly mug up on some website or something. That's cool. Man, that is nice right through there. I mean, that part ain't been burned in probably forever. I mean, that is just so beautiful. So you could definitely see them coming through an area like this where visibility for hunting's good, but if something happened, they got all kinds of cover. They beat it down there and go up there, they'll just disappear and all that, you know. That's pretty amazing.
Look to your right again.
That is pretty amazing up through there. That's not all pine.
It's like a great place for them, you know.
I think this would be especially a great place for your FLIR and your thermal vision. You get up on that hill, you can see all around.
And with all the clearance, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna get everything up
If you had a FLIR right here, if one walked down through there, you could catch it between the trees and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if you were in the middle of that, you would have a hard time with the FLIR.
Right, exactly.
You could still squatch it, but you'd have a hard time with the FLIR camera over
I
there.
bet there's a creek down there too.
I bet you there is. I bet that big grassy part that we saw,
Yeah.
I bet you it's running right in between. I bet you're right. I bet you there's a creek down in there. Maybe one of the creeks that I've been at on the other side, it might just run all the way down through here. I'd be willing to bet.
I wonder if it shows up on.
It might. I think Spencer's Creek might show up on Google Maps. It may run across Tower Road, actually.
Oh yeah, well, I think it's this. So, the blue line there.
Yeah, that'd be where we're at.
Because the road is that way.
So I'll like touch that one, and that's where we're at right there.
Mm-hmm.
So when you move, it'll move with. It's actually a good little tool to use.